Hello everyone, this is George Chiez and welcome to this week's Threat Thursday. This week we're going to look at APT33. They are an Iranian threat group that has been operating since 2013. In January 2020, with the assassination of Soleimani, we saw an uptick in people wanting to learn more about Iranian threat actors and acquire cyber threat intelligence about it. This video goes along with a blog post that we really hope you read because it goes deeper into the cyber threat intelligence part. What we're going to do is emulate APT33 from a community threat that's available on our GitHub. Our first step is to import the threat, and we've done this before. So you go into migrate threats, you choose your file, APT33, and we import. Then we go to a threat manager, we go to APT33, we scroll down and we select create campaign from threat. We give it a name and we choose our settings. In this case, we have to change our IP and we can look through everything that it's going to do. It's going to take a print screen. It's going to run who am I. It's going to steal from the keyboard, take a key, start the keylogger, run sysinfo, learn about the processes running on the system, learn about the services running on the system, perform an ARP request to see what other systems are in the same subnet, look inside the documents, and APT33 also uses PowerShell. So we did a couple things here with PowerShell. First, acquire what antivirus product is running, then get the DNS server, and lastly, we run netuse to see if there's any shares established. Now we're going to deploy this in two places. So I'm going to download the executable and get it over to that system. I copy it over and I double click. It's going to start executing on here. There we see a check-in. We're going to give it a little bit so it runs through the automation. I'm also going to download this onto another system that is part of a domain to see what happens there. And here we see the other device check-in. We're going to let this run through, and then we will do some manual interaction. And we're back. Here we see we executed in Windows 10 Victim 1 and Endpoint 02. So let's take a look at everything that occurred. First, we got a print screen. Then I ran who am I. Then it stole from the clipboard. No content was found on the clipboard. Started a keylogger. Then ran sysinfo. Then it listed processes. Then it listed services. Then it ran ARP. And it ran PowerShell. First to determine what antivirus, then to obtain the DNS server. And lastly, it ran netuse. So this is the system that's not on Active Directory. Endpoint 02 is in Active Directory. So let's take a look at its results. Print screen. Who am I? See, it's part of a domain, and that's the user Danny. Clipboard did have content, fall 2019. That's probably a password. Started the keylogger, ran sysinfo, ran processes, pulled services, ran ARP. See what other systems are around and what systems it's talked to. It ran to see what's on the documents folder. See 2 text files there. It also ran PowerShell to identify what antivirus is in use. In this case, it's Windows Defender. And it obtained the DNS server. In this case, this is a domain controller. Lastly, it ran the netuse command, and it sees that we have a session established to target server 01. So let's do some lateral movement. To do that, we go up here to Observe Campaign. We're going to select endpoint 01 and do Discover Nearby Devices. And here we see it has discovered a number of devices. We saw target server 01 already had an active SMB session. So let's try to inject into neighbor. We're going to say no credentials. Since an SMB connection has already been established, we can derive that this endpoint already has a connection to target server 01. And just like that, you saw how it turned blue? That means we now have an agent on target server 01. If we go back to device list, we'll see target server 01. And there we have a connection of where we can run a shell. So that is emulating APT33. As you saw, it was pretty easy with the threats. We did do some manual lateral movement, moving from endpoint 02 to target server 01 over an SMB connection that had already been established. We hope you enjoyed this week's Threat Thursday. Follow us on Twitter and keep up to date with the latest threats. Have a great day.